welcome back to another episode of Bumper to Bumper, the only podcast recorded in a couple of cars. We got a great guest today, buddy of mine, new buddy. Recently met him a few months ago. He is a extremely talented director. I can't speak. Get a little bit of espresso in my brain and I'm hot to trot, ready to pop. His name is Mike Pecci. No relation to Joe, the actor. Maybe he is. I don't know. We're going to ask him. We're going to hit some hard-hitting questions. Hard-hatting questions? This is going to be a really shitty podcast for me because I can't speak again. No breaks, no cuts. That's what we're all about. Mike is a recent transplant from Boston. He and his amazing girlfriend, Gina, they moved out here to, have the better weather because who wants to be hanging around in an ice box? That's my nickname for Boston. I call it the ice box. Okay, we're getting the bad jokes going and getting the fuck into traffic. Oh, already explicit podcast. I don't want to say too much about Mike. I want Mike to talk about Mike. I was on his podcast a couple months ago called In Love with the Process. It's a podcast that interviews primarily filmmakers and basically talks about the process, how they make movies, and I had a great time. We recorded an episode in his living room, and he's got some really great content, and I wanted to get him on. Excited to have him on. We're going to go pick him up right now. I'm going to call little Chris. That's what I call Chris and when we're not doing the podcast. Am I even rolling here? Okay, very good. We're rolling, and we're ready to go. My brain. Coffee's legal. Imagine that. Here we go. We're going to get this little Papi Chulo in here right now. Papi Chulo means Mac Daddy. Oh.
I wish they could be.
No, stop.
What? I can't.
Stop.
Why?
No.
Why?
No.
Why can't I sing it?
Demonetization. Okay, I told you this.
Okay.
Look, when you're fucking got your toes are poking out of the surface of your brand new hot tub, you're gonna be thanking me for censoring your ass.
But I just wish they all could be California girls.
No.
What?
That's really, you can't say that in 2020, Chris.
Oh, okay. You can
You're
say
gonna offend
fuck.
someone.
You can say fuck, but you can't say.
But you can't say you wish they could all, because there might be a girl out there in the middle of Saskatchewan, and she's going, "I'm not from California."
Oh, you turned it to
this
that.
Makes me feel bad.
This
makes me feel bad.
You're an idiot.
Okay,
we got to be very. You turned it to that.
No, I'm not an idiot. We got to be very sensitive over everyone's a little snowflake, and we got to keep them in a little tiny little bassinet. You can't say, I wish they could all be California girls, okay? There's other girls out there besides California. That song is canceled.
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
You know what I'm talking about. I saw a funny little post today, and I got my engines all fired up. There was a post by a very big curator out there in the internet world that curates short film content. And they said that, content today short films have to have a point or be resolving an issue. Otherwise, it's aimless. And I think that's bullshit. I think something can be whatever. Hey, you know what it needs to be? Entertaining, just like this podcast.
I agree with it, though. I mean, I agree with the whole thing, but
what do you agree with? Agree with what?
I think
that everything needs to be homogenized and boring?
No,
and everything has
no. You're looking at it wrong. I think there's a way you can have like a cool message, or you can be doing something of worth or of value.
You don't need to. You don't need to have a fucking message with everything that you make. Something can be just silly and stupid.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that too. I agree with all of it, Rick. Don't you understand? Don't you get it, Rick?
You agree with everything. Have a little fucking. Just talk a little bit of shit. Come on.
Welcome to Bumper, everybody.
Anyway, how are you, Chris? How's it going?
I'm good. I am just driving my car as I'm going to start making up fake songs, and I'm going to get you to freak out, wondering, like, is that a real song?
I like that.
Like,
I like
here
that.
I am in my car. I'm driving along. Oh, that's a Tenacious D song. I bet you didn't know that. Just kidding.
No, it's not.
I know it's not, all right? So what's going on with you, Rick? How you doing?
What's going on with me? Well, it's beautiful, beautiful day out. We're in the vortex, wonderful vortex.
Yes, we're in the vortex.
I am in the middle of tax season. Got to pay. I'm doing this thing because I have a production company and I paid out, a number of contractors last year. And, if you pay out contractors, you have to file a 1099. And basically what I realized was filing a 1099 against the people you paid is basically a nice way to snitch. I'm snitching on people, and I'm telling the government, hey, I paid this guy, so you go after him for your money. And that's what I've been working on. It's been really exciting. I'm doing intermittent fasting. I decided last night.
Really? What is your intermittent fasting? What have you been doing?
I'm gonna eat for 23 hours out of the day. That's my plan. I'm gonna take 1 hour off. I'm gonna eat I'm doing 12 to 8 p.m. is my feeding time because it sounds like I'm on a farm. But
you're a little piggy.
I like that. 12 to 8 is good. I can get behind that, so I'm gonna give it a go. And I was watching videos last night. You'd be proud. People make their own ice baths at their places.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they get these Kenmore
tubs,
refrigeration units. Yeah,
oh,
it's pretty cool.
those too. Yeah, I've seen those as well. Yeah. So
they just stay cold.
Did you get bit by the Iceman? Did you get bit?
I'm getting a little bit by I have a hard time waking up in the morning. And I'm wondering, what would my world be like if I immediately got out of bed, jumped in an ice bath, and then started my day? I bet you I would have several shows on HBO.
Yeah, that's several. Why do you think I've been doing all this shit? You think I believe in it? No,
You just want that HBO money.
I want that HBO money. No,
Speaking of HBO money, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you had a segue planned. Go ahead, segue.
You're going to the HBO Canada.
Yeah, I'm going up to Canada on Sunday to work on a show.
It's not HBO.
It's not HBO. I think it's Global TV, I believe is what it is. But yeah,
Sounds
Canada
fake.
has various networks similar to like ABC, NBC, but they're like City TV, CTV, Global TV. There's just like the different networks up there.
How long are you going up there for?
I'll be up there for 2 weeks, which will be nice. So yeah, I head up
nice.
there. Those are the various networks that are going on over there. But yes, there is one that is like a public network. It's like that's the CBC. So that would be like PBS, but they're bigger. And that's Canadian broadcasting up there.
Cool.
So yeah. So what's on the docket today, buddy? We're coming in real hot.
We're picking up. We're quick today. We're picking up Mike right now. He's on his porch. He's about to get in the car.
It's kind of funny. You and I both have like Joe Pesci energy today, and we're picking up a guy named Mike Pesci.
Pesci.
No
I don't think he's related though.
No, he's not.
Maybe he is. Maybe he is his little brother.
God, we're coming in.
Here he comes.
All right, he's coming in.
Here we go. Hey, come on in.
God.
He's coming in the podcast. You know what time it is.
I don't know if I've ever met Mike Pesci.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever met Mike Pesci. He's coming in right now. This is the best moment. How are you?
Mike
you brought a bag
Pesci.
of groceries.
Hello.
Welcome
Grab
to
this.
the
Hold on.
podcast.
Take that.
Mike
okay.
Pesci.
Chris is singing a song. This has been
It's
cleaned,
going to
sterilized,
be
and put it in your
your
left
best
ear.
night.
Yeah.
Mike Pesci.
Oh, yeah.
How are
Hello,
you,
hello.
Mike Pesci?
Okay,
Mike
can you hear?
Pesci.
Can you hear?
I can
Chris,
hear.
can you shut up?
Hey,
Hey, Chris, how are you, buddy?
Hey, Mike, how are you, man? Hold on, let
Good.
me just
Hold on.
But he's
hold
getting
on one
safe.
sec. Let me just do something, Mike. You know, Rick, you better shut the fuck up right now, buddy.
Chris, kiss my ass. You already made me edit once. No one will even know that edit. You're
Yeah,
like,
so
you
now
can't
you gotta
say
edit.
that.
So now you gotta edit twice.
No, I like telling people that we edited and they don't know where the edit point is. They just are in it.
It's all real, man.
Yeah.
No fucking edits.
Mike.
Mike,
What up,
what's
man?
up,
Oh, there's
man?
a hair on the mic.
Is that a fucking dog hair?
No, it's not. Mike is very allergic to dogs, he told me. And
And
I
you
hope
got a dog
there's
hair
been
on
no
his
dog.
fucking seat?
No, there's no dog hair on
On the
seat.
microphone.
On the
the
right by
microphone.
your mouth. Okay,
Well,
yeah. So
because every morning I use the mic. I put the mic in Maya's butt. It's kind of what I do.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't want to say that because I don't really know Chris that well, but yeah, I assume that you would put this thing in your dog's
Yeah, that's
asshole.
Chris, you like that, right? You like doing that, right?
yeah, love it. Big fan. Big fan.
Chris is annoyed with me this morning. I could already
Yes.
tell.
Oh, really?
I'm like putting some
Well,
pepper
okay,
in the pan.
no,
and he's
no.
like, hey, add a little butter.
Yeah. Let me tell you. Okay, so today I'm working on lines. I'm memorizing lines, and I take an hour when I'm working on something uninterrupted. Phone, turn it off. All right, uninterrupted. And then this guy, and I know we're doing the podcast today. So this guy Rick, he calls. And he goes, hey, you know we're doing a podcast today? And I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, well, I couldn't get a hold of you. I thought you were in the hospital or something. And then I said,
I thought he was in the hospital.
I'm learning my lines. I'm going to be in the
That guy's a
hospital because I'm
fucking
having a
actor.
fucking stroke over here. Goddamn stress I'm getting. All right, Mike, how are you, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
It's nice to hear you. It's nice
Yeah.
to hear you for the first time.
Yeah, you guys have never met.
I've never met. We've never
Soon,
met.
One day.
We
Someday I'll
we
hear
haven't
you in
ever met.
person.
So, so we've never met. All right, well, good podcast.
All right, bye.
That's it. See ya. Bye.
So we never met. And that's it for
Okay.
Bumper to Bumper, everybody.
Yeah, okay, I'm getting out here. See ya.
Hey, Mike, put me in one of your movies. All right, I'm out.
All right, sounds good.
So,
I got to ask, any relation to Joe?
Me?
Yeah.
Do you think that I would be on this fucking podcast?
Maybe. Jeez. Oh, wow.
No, I get asked that all the time. I
Yeah.
get asked that like in registries or
Yeah,
wherever the
it's
fuck
a cool
I'm going.
name. It
yeah,
means
and they're
fish.
just like, yeah, fish. Yeah, means thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, it means fish.
wait,
Are you
Pecci
Italian?
means Pecci.
No. It's actually Pesci, I think is
Oh,
what
his name?
is his
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
And I think that's the technical fish term.
Right.
I don't know. It's
Wait,
Italian.
so Joe
you know.
Pesci's
See, Chris-
name is
Chris, he's
Joey
not
the
related.
Fish? Joey
Joey
the Fish,
Fish.
and Mikey
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mikey
your
Fish.
name, you're
Joey-
not.
Joey the
Yours
old
isn't
fish.
the derivative of fish.
I would assume.
Because yours is P-E-C-C-I.
Yeah, it's P-E-C-C-I, but maybe who the fuck cares, man? I'm an American kid. I was born in America.
Yeah.
I think my
Yeah, we're all
grandparents.
mutts.
Yeah, my
Except for Chris,
grandparents'
he's
parents.
Canadian. He likes to tell everyone.
Oh, you're Canadian. You're one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta tell
Toronto,
people. I gotta tell people I'm Canadian because I get fucking attacked all the time by people going, "Oh, you're Canadian, huh? You must be, love the snow, eh?" I don't know. I'm just saying.
What's the
it.
difference between a vegan and a Canadian? Nothing, because they both will let you know.
Oh, Jesus. True.
Do you know I'm vegan these days too?
How do you like
Mike?
Glendale? Look at this. These people out
Oh.
here are fucking insane.
Yeah, we're in Glendale. I used to live in this hellhole city, and it feels like I'm in a bad version of the Truman Show every time I come
all it
through here.
is like old men with like open-toed sandals and fucking
Yes.
socks on.
Yeah.
That sounds
all
like
it
a
is.
dream to me.
All-
I love Glendale.
Well, the best part is that they give no
Dude,
fucks.
Glendale,
Yeah,
I'll tell you
absolutely.
some great stuff about Glendale. You ever been to Rafi's
Chris.
place? You ever been to Rafi's place? It's
Rothy's place.
Yeah, it's a Persian cuisine. It's very good. It's over there.
Oh.
You should try it out.
Oh,
Delish.
Nice.
Delish. And then
Nice.
there's people love the Americana over there though. I mean, I think I've been to the Americana once. So Mike,
I
you
don't
live
get-
you live in Glendale?
Yeah. I live over here in Glendale. I just moved out here 4 months ago, something like that. 4 months ago, something
Okay.
like 4 or 5 months ago.
From Boston.
From Boston, yeah,
Yeah.
East Coast kid.
Nice.
And I don't get what the fucking deal is with malls out here.
Yeah.
Like I just don't understand it. And it's like let's go out and get some drinks. Let's go to a bar, and we go
Yeah.
to a fucking mall.
Yeah.
I feel like a 16-year-old kid. half the
Yeah.
time.
Right. Oh yeah.
It's definitely, Glendale is kind of like that mall culture. I can't speak
California, period. Is,
Yeah.
man. It's really strange.
What do you mean?
I
So
can
what
think
what are you noticing? You're noticing that people go to malls instead of
Well, dude, everywhere else in the country, malls are like shutting down and becoming,
Oh,
fucking
right.
sets for zombie movies and shit. Like, you come out here and there's still, like, retail is still really strong out here in California. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I never
Well,
noticed that actually.
A lot of like
it's
traditional
weird.
malls have closed down out here though, like the indoor malls. Like there was one on the west side called the West Side Pavilion. That one's done. California's definitely gotten bit by the old because no one likes going to like an enclosed place to go shopping, I guess.
Well, no one likes to get out of bed to go fucking shop. Like Gina, my girlfriend Gina, she just
Yeah.
shops at like 3 o'clock in the morning. She's like
Oh yeah.
addicted to fucking Amazon.
Yeah, I used to do that. It was a bad thing. I'd be buying shit drunk, stoned, and then it would come, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" I bought one of those Jew harps. I don't know why I bought a Jew harp.
What's
Jew
that?
harp. Nice.
What is
It's
that?
like a piece of it's like a metal you put in your mouth and you go. Bong, 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 bong. I don't know what the fuck it is, Chris. Google Jew harp, okay? Google it.
That's what you play when you die.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, I've never.
When you go to
I
heaven.
didn't know that was what it was called. Oh, but it's like the boom, 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 boom kind of.
Yeah,
that.
boing, 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 boing. Yeah, I couldn't. I don't know why I bought that, but yeah.
I don't know why you bought that either,
Yeah.
Rick. I say the same thing to my girlfriend every fucking morning. You know, the Amazon dude comes more often than the mailman.
Yeah, it's like Christmas.
Yeah, every morning he
Yeah.
rings the doorbell. He's like, "Hey, Mike," and I'm like, "God damn it, Gina, what did
Yeah,
you buy?
he knows.
What did
Yeah.
you buy? Oh, I bought a new pillow. You have
Yeah.
like 6. Why
Yeah.
do you need a new one?
Yeah, because it feels good. It's a rush of dopamine when you see that package and you click that order now.
Yeah, it's really
like
great.
It's like a jackpot going on.
That's why I gotta wear. That's why I gotta wear like, I call them my VR goggles, but they're the things that you wear to keep light out of your eyes at night.
Oh,
I
yeah,
have to do that
the
because
sleep mask.
Gina's got her fucking yeah.
Oh, she's got the computer on?
God damn it, she's
Yeah.
got the phone up. It's
Yeah.
like, can you turn the brightness down on that thing?
Now, Gina is, she's got a photography background, but
Yeah.
you guys occasionally work together, right?
Yeah. She's a fashion photographer. She does fashion shit. And I started as a photographer myself. I started as a cinematographer.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I got into it that way, and so we work together. Actually, what it is that I'm free fucking labor,
Yeah.
and
And she abuses you?
she gets me to come in and do all my really cool lighting stuff on her stuff, and then she takes all the credit for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what happens when
basically.
you're in a relationship.
Yeah,
You know.
she takes all the credit. It's good.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing it though. It's fun.
What?
Yeah.
Tell us. How did you get into this crazy? Hey, Chris, how you doing over there?
Yeah.
I'm great. I was just, about to take a quick little nap. Just kidding. No.
Get in here.
I was
Well-
curious. How do you guys know each other? That was what I was going to ask.
How do we know each other?
Yeah. How did
Yeah.
you and Rick meet, Mike?
Gina went and saw one of your comedy.
Yeah, there was that screening, Aloha from Hell, that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
at the
yeah.
Vista in October,
Oh, right. Yeah.
and we talked about it on the pod, and she saw it, and then Mike, which I was saying in the intro, has his own amazing little podcast called In Love with the Process.
Yeah, I rant and I say fuck a lot.
Yeah, he says fuck, and
Said that a
and
lot.
then you primarily bring on, it's only filmmakers, correct, or people in the business?
Yeah, well, yesterday's episode that it will be out in a couple weeks was Logan Pierce,
Okay.
who is our first porn star to have on the show.
Nice. I got to listen to that one.
It's actually really cool, man. I actually got to ask him all the questions that we think we know the answers to.
Yeah.
And I got the real
Oh,
answers.
that'll be great.
It's like, do you have to do gay porn to make money in the business? Like,
What do you say?
he's like, no, actually.
Oh.
No, it was really interesting. He was saying that the porn industry is incredibly homophobic still.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. So like if you are a guy that goes and does, tries to make that extra loot, and then you come back to a straight set, there's still a lot of hazing. There's still a
Wow.
lot of
Really?
Okay.
bad
That's
shit
weird.
that happens. Yeah, it's very strange.
I
man.
always
And then-
imagine the porn world to be like crazy inclusive because they're like just always having like sex is so like non-taboo,
Yeah, Chris has been trying to break in for years, but they won't let him.
No, I think there's probably at this point.
You think
could
you want
probably
me,
get
Rick?
in there.
You think you want me?
But no, it was a wild conversation. We were talking about, I don't know, what's the rating on this podcast?
Oh, it's explicit.
Okay, yeah, fuck it.
Say
Okay.
whatever the fuck you want.
So we were talking, you don't
Yeah,
get
the fuck you
paid.
need, buddy.
You don't get paid if you don't blow your load. So,
Okay.
So you have to,
Oh, wow.
deliver the package in
Really?
order to get paid.
Oh, so
yeah.
that's funny. So
I mean, what guy is not blowing their load, though?
Well, I mean, that's
Some
the
guys,
skill.
Some guys might not. Oh, yeah.
Because you got to hold, dude.
You got to hold back the load.
Yeah, you shoot, man. You're
My
fucking.
load?
Oh god.
No, like it takes like a fucking hour to
Yeah, you gotta get that-
to get the scene right.
Got to
so,
get the rim job lighting going.
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
haze.
Turn for the angle and open up the camera, all that
Yeah.
kind of shit. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's true.
So I was asking him, I'm like, well, is there any sort of prep? Is there like any insider shit that you have learned to, make the package bigger?
Yeah.
For the end? And apparently he was told by a fellow actor that if you eat celery, you have to eat a lot of celery and pineapple. And so for
Interesting.
his first year,
I'm writing this down.
yeah, exactly.
Rick's got a little notepad out, huh?
I said it must have been. I said I could only picture how hilarious it would be on set, where like you pan from like two people drilling each other past the camera crew to you sitting naked in a director's chair just chomping on celery sticks.
Prepping it. No one's ever done like a self-aware fun, well-produced porn. You know, that like has
Oh
some
my
comedy
God.
in it.
my
Oh my
God, Rick,
God.
I hear a transition career for you.
Guys, I'm in. I'll do it with you. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Oh
Hey,
my
porn,
God.
all three of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris, you can finally get your shot. You'll be like Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting. You know, you write yourself your own role.
yeah, get the shot.
Exactly.
That'd be the name of it.
What was I
Yeah,
going to say before my mind turned to mush? No, I'm on like where are you guys at? 'Cause I'm on the Sunset Strip right now, and this is feels like a very fitting
We're in
conversation.
Glendale.
Yeah, I feel like
We're
I'm
in-
right
yeah.
next to the Hustler store. Is it still the Hustler
Oh,
store?
nice.
No,
I
they
think it
moved.
is still the
Oh, the
Hustler
Hustler
store.
store moved. It says we've
Oh.
moved just down the street. Yeah,
I think I've seen the Hustler store. Actually, the adult, you know,
on Sunset Boulevard.
go to buy specific tools kind of shop store.
Yeah,
That
it's,
place?
I'm at prime time for this kind of conversation. So okay, you got a porn star on the show. You guys met each other like a couple months ago, and then did you?
Yeah.
Is it Gina's your girlfriend?
Yes.
So Rick, did you
Well,
know
you
Gina
know.
before or no?
I didn't.
No,
Gina,
it was really fast. Basically, Gina came home after seeing Rick's stuff and woke my ass up and was like, "You got to watch these." And so she played me all your videos. It was
and
like,
she's like, but first I need to order this thing on Amazon.
yeah, exactly. So we watched your shit. And I was like, "Oh, it's really good." And I liked your
Thanks.
stuff. I thought I like your tone, and I was like, I should get him on the show.
Yeah, and I had a great time. And I encourage people to go check out that podcast. It's a lot of fun, and you do a great job interviewing and
Thanks,
getting
man.
people to loosen up.
Thanks.
I want to know, how did you make the transition from cinema? You said you started in cinematography,
Yeah.
and then you're out here as a director. And where was that transition, and how did that come to be? You know.
Well, I mean, originally I went to school to be a director,
Okay.
and then I went to school in New York for that.
Okay.
And then I didn't really learn how to be a director at school. They sort of taught me how to produce.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had to produce a bunch of shorts in a city that I had zero connections in, which
In New York.
in New York, yeah. So like no family connections, none of that shit. And so you're doing casting sessions in like Barnes and Noble, and you're trying to figure all that crap out.
Right.
And then you have to convince people in a city that is used to having people film in it to let you use their like locations for free.
Yes.
Right.
And so
yeah.
it was like a really cool lesson on like how to fucking make shit happen.
Yeah.
And then after I finished my course, I was like, I can either stay here in New York, but imagine what I could do back in a city that I have all these connections. And so I'm like, I'm gonna go back to Boston and make films.
Yeah.
And it's true. You go to a city where they're not used to filming. Like you walk in, and you go, "I'd like to film here." They'll show you everything.
Yeah. They're just
amazing.
excited.
It's super exciting.
Yeah.
But the big problem was I was a young buck. You know what I mean? I'm like fucking 22 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like before digital's really kicking.
Right.
And so a lot of the cinematographers are still these old crusty, film guys.
Right.
And they're not going to want to.
They bought a Varicam and they're just sitting on it.
Not even before that.
Oh,
they're
yeah,
still, still shooting fucking 35.
Oh,
you know.
okay.
And I knew that they're not going to come want to work for a 22-year or 23-year-old, so I had to teach myself how to shoot. And then I decided to get into digital pretty early because what am I going to compete with, like a 56 or 70-year-old
Right, dinosaur.
fucking dinosaur?
Right.
So I started to shoot.
Did you start as an assistant and move up, or did you just go in as?
No, I'm
that's
one of
cool.
those guys that just, like, I just sort of jump in the wrong way.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I end up developing a sense of style because I do everything the fucking wrong way.
That's the way to do it. There's no right way,
Yeah,
you know.
It's very true. It's very
Now,
true.
I got a
You gotta
question.
go and work the ladder. You start off on the mailroom, and then go ahead, Chris.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Yeah, sorry. Let me. Well, no, I don't know the whole lingo with cinematographers. I know you both are directors, but what was that transition? What was everybody filming on back when it was film? Like, and then and like you were saying, then you went on to digital. Like, what was the first digital camera you were working on? Because
digital sucked back then. Digital sucked.
Yeah.
It was like,
DVX 100.
it was even before that. It was like XL1,
XL1,
XL1S, Canon shit. And
Those
then,
were so cool though when they came out.
yeah, no, and they
Yeah.
air like that. You can hold them really well, and they had
Yeah.
like
I
a
had
good balance, but the fucking lenses sucked on them. They were
Yeah,
like,
true.
it was
I
like
had a-
shooting a fucking basketball game.
I have a friend who worked on that Michael Mann movie Collateral, and and I remember I went to like a screening, like an early screening of it, and that was like they're saying that was like one of the first films they used like a digital camera on, and I remember seeing it for the first time, going like, what the fuck's wrong here? What the fuck is this?
It looked
guy
like
doing
shit.
over here?
Well, yeah, they were shooting it. I mean, all right, yeah, Michael Mann. I loved Michael Mann.
I love Michael Mann too.
Pre-fucking, what was the one with Johnny Depp?
Pre 9/11?
No, yeah, pre 9/11. The gangster one that he did. Dillinger.
Yeah, I didn't like
Dillinger
that
one.
one. No, I didn't like that one. But
Yeah.
I'm a rare person who loved Miami Vice. I thought that movie was tight. Even though that's a hard one to watch.
I want to love that movie because
me
I
too.
love the original Miami Vice series, and it was like, cool, Colin Farrell's got a sweet mustache. I was like, all right, I'm into this. And then the movie just sucked dick.
When
It just absolutely sucked dick.
I like the mustache brought you in.
No, it, honestly, dude, that movie is so funny because it's I agree. I want it to be way better than it ends up being, but like it opens on like it just like smash cut open, and it's like it's on Farrell, and they're playing that like Jay-Z Linkin Park song. I can't sing it because Rick will freak out, but it's like such a abrasive intro to a movie, and then it's like really long, and it looks weird because it's shot on like 5 or 6 different digital cameras that work. So there was like no consistency in it.
Well, there's no consistency, but also here's my theory.
Yeah.
My theory is that he was super amped about shooting at night.
Okay.
After he did Heat. So he did Heat, and you look at Heat, and they do like LA night sky shit, and he had to do a lot of weird, not green screen effects, but he had to do a lot of weird optical things to be able to see the city at night.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the big advantage that you were getting with early digital cameras is that they were so sensitive.
Right.
That you could shoot outside at night. But to get it to be that sensitive, you couldn't shoot it in the 24p typical sort of cinema mode that we're used to seeing. So he had to shoot it in like the grossest form of video, which is like 60 interlaced or whatever the fuck he was doing. Oh yeah, dude. So when you watch those pieces, you get pulled out of it because it's not shot in the 24p, like, which is to be less technical about it. It doesn't look like old film. It doesn't have that.
Yeah.
What's the term I'm looking for? It doesn't have that softness. It doesn't have that
the motion cadence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so you start seeing that shit. Like they're trying to change the frame rate now. They're trying to shoot at higher frame rate. Like I know Cameron's doing it, and fucking they try to do it with the Hobbit movies.
Yeah, they shot it like 48 frames.
It just sucks. It's like when you go watching
soap opera.
Yeah, or if you go into like Best Buy and they have the fucking motion correction stuff on the televisions.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's that, dude. It's that.
It's funny though, because most people don't even notice. I'll go to someone's like relative's TV and I'll see the Motion Plus.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, it looks like shit, and they're like, what? And I'll change the setting to turn it off, and they have no idea what I just did. They can't even tell. It's something that I mean we pick up on because we work in this business, but. It's more of a feeling, I feel like.
It's a subtle move. Yeah. Because people sit there and they go, I don't know if I like this. And you're like, of course you don't. Yeah. And I don't want you to notice those things as a filmmaker. Yeah. That's kind of our inside sort of shit.
Yeah.
But I also know what it's going to make you feel. It's like when you choose lenses, if you're picking specific lenses, there's been over 100 years of testing that specific piece of cinema language.
Right.
Sure.
So the audience like feels a certain way when they see something shot with like an 85 millimeter. And
yes.
they feel a certain way when they see something shot with a wide. I don't necessarily want you to know that.
Right. Yeah, it's hidden.
It's hidden.
Yeah.
It's like a chef.
Yeah.
When you go and you buy fucking food and everybody's like, this burger's amazing. Well, they don't know that he put like a half a pound of fucking salt in it.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why you love it so much.
And a cup of jizz.
And a cup of jizz. Yeah, right. A lot of celery.
Couldn't
a lot
help
of celery
it,
in that.
Couldn't, you just had to sneak that in there. See, that's the difference, Rick. A good comedian could sneak that in perfectly, but you just flop it on the table like a fish.
It just throws it in.
Like
Look,
a Pecci.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna get. I brought us
Dude,
some
he
snacks.
figured out. He figured out a way to put his mic in his jacket. We got to get headsets for our guests, Chris. What the hell did you bring here?
I made sure to bring snacks that are really good for microphones.
Yeah. You brought some sea salt rippled potato chips, Chris.
Oh, good.
I can eat. I'm doing intermittent fasting right now. It's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, pile it in, buddy.
Yeah. I also brought.
Yummy.
You want a drink?
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, here.
Dude, your car's
You
got
want
all. I
you
got
want a
nothing
dark
over
one?
here.
Yeah, I'll take a root beer.
You guys are
Or a
having
light
root
one.
beer
Which one
and
do you want?
chips over there?
Yeah.
I got nothing going on.
I'll
over
do a
here.
light one.
You want a light one?
Yeah.
All right, that's a ginger beer. This is my
So,
favorite move.
What was?
I like to
It's
drive and
this
drink
ginger
root beer.
ale.
Yeah,
What do
I
you-
like to drive and drink root beer without labels on it,
Oh, yeah.
just so that we can meet police.
Oh, my God. This isn't alcohol, right? Okay. I thought he was giving me a
That
bottle
sounds
of beer.
like-
I
the
was
way
just-
this is going, Mike Pecci would get you to drink and drive on this podcast.
There you go, buddy.
Hey,
No,
how
like
you like
for the
that? I
entertaining
just
podcast.
doused
Oh,
it with
thanks, bud.
LSD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cheers.
cheers.
Cheers. There we go.
There. Hold on.
Oh my
My
god.
microphone's way down on my crotch here. Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah, that's pure rum. No, I'm joking.
Oh, yeah.
So let's. I want to get into it. Look, I want to
let's get
tell
into
you
it.
something here. I watched your fucking films this week.
Oh, you finally watched my movies. How fucking long has it been? It's been like 3 months.
Hey, man. Fuck.
3 months, Rick.
I know, it's bad. I'm terrible. I have no excuse. Someone will send me a script and be like, Rick, can I get some notes? And then 2 years later, I'll be like, I love this part, I love this part. They're like, dude, I already sold the script.
Yeah, I don't
I
want
bought
to
a
talk to you.
house.
I don't want to talk to you
Fuck
again.
you.
Go fuck
yeah.
yourself.
Enjoy living in your
Yeah, yeah.
trash can.
I gotta say, I was blown away.
Which
by
one did
both
you
your
watch?
I watched them both.
Oh.
12 Kilometers Down and
Who's there?
Who's There? I love 12 Kilometers Down. Am I saying that's the right?
No, I like
in
I
Russian.
like that you added down to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But it's nice. It's 12 kilometers.
Wait, it's not
Chris,
12
this-
kilometers down.
it's
It's
12 kilometers.
I like
This
how
is
you
12
add
kilometers.
down to it.
Yeah, he's a
You know,
fucking
that
liar.
it's like,
he hasn't seen any of
I
it.
watched it.
I love,
fucking-
hey, James
Dude.
Cameron, I love your movie, The Titanic. The Titanic was real good. You didn't watch it.
That movie, Titanic sinks.
Titanic
Yeah,
sinks.
the Titanic
sinks
sinks.
is my
That was a
favorite.
good one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey,
no.
yeah. Go on.
That's
no.
a Cartoon Network building. Check
Oh
that
yeah,
out.
we're going up to by Adult Swim.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're on the top or whatever. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere up there.
So tell me good things about my movie. I like
No,
that.
I was blown away. I loved 12 Kilometers. Okay, so his movie, Chris, and to the
Yeah.
audience that hasn't seen this or doesn't know what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about.
haven't
apparently
seen it
Chris
yet either. I
hasn't
just
seen
got
it
sent the
either.
links
Yeah, I
last
get
night.
Yeah, I get it. You guys are real fucking professional.
I got sent.
good
No,
podcast
you know how
this is.
professional. I got sent the links at 2:58 in the morning. He's like,
Yeah,
here
I can tell
are
the
the.
difference. There's a reason why I got more fucking listeners on my show, guys. I actually watch their shit before they come on.
Oh my god! All right, I'm gonna get out right here. Just let the car just.
The car just fucking slides right into
Yeah.
this guy.
Okay, so it's 27 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a short film. I'm fucking taking this train
27
into
minutes.
the,
Hold on. No, he's like 27 minutes. It's got a couple people in it acting lines.
Yeah.
It's an interesting film. It's filmed in locations. What's interesting is
Fuck
there was some nighttime shots and some daytime shots, and some
Yep.
interiors, some exteriors, and one of the more interesting things of the film is
There's
was
no
sound
exteriors.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling it, guys. I'm feeling the professionalism.
Well, the end, he's in like a void. That could be an exterior or like
Yeah.
another kind of
Yeah.
a.
Oh
Yeah,
wow!
exactly.
Now you
Well,
go
I mean,
ahead and spoil the film for
wasn't
everybody.
interior, but
You
it
let
could be.
everybody know the end of the film.
Well, you're not. The thing with this film is you don't. It's not public. No, Mike.
No,
Mike
so you
isn't-
can't see it.
Yeah, unlike us, Chris, who just give away our shit for free like a bunch of homeless guys.
Mm-hmm.
Mike holds back, so we can take a little lesson from Mike because I think
yeah.
it creates a sense of momentum, power, and builds a sense of mystery.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I do apologize for taking forever to get to it. I knew I was always going to get to it, but
I
loved it.
still like you, Rick.
You know, I loved it. It was it's amazing. Like you should be directing any big budget action fucking film thriller. Like it's so slick. Your team is amazing. Acting was
They're good.
incredible. Why? What I liked about it is okay. So the story is about there was a sound. Tell us about it. Tell us
Okay.
about how you got to make this film because it's based on a real
event.
truth.
Yeah. Actually, I'll tell you if you want to sit through it. I'll give you the medium-sized story for
Let's,
this.
Chris. Do you want to sit through this? You're already sitting, Chris. He has no choice. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
It's only me right now.
I feel so bad for you. You're just by yourself. You're not hanging out with us.
This
We got
always
chips and
happens.
we got beers and shit. I mean, root beers.
When he has a guest, same thing.
Yeah, don't
Was
worry.
that your GoPro going off?
No, that was, don't worry. My GoPro's
Okay,
fine.
go
It's
ahead,
yours
Mike.
that has
Okay.
a problem.
I'm going to chew chips through this.
Yeah.
So years ago, there's this story that is based upon true events. Back in like the 70s in Russia, there was a team of scientists that actually drilled the deepest hole known to man. So they drilled down into the planet 12 kilometers.
Wow.
And there was this myth circulating the internet. I think it started by some sort of Christian or Catholic group that these scientists lowered microphones down into that hole and they heard the screams of the damned, basically. And I had read that story, and other than the screams of the damned, I thought it was pretty rad. But I couldn't figure out a good use for it. And this was years and years ago. So it just sort of sat in the back of my brain. Fast forward to when I met Gina, my girlfriend. We were going out early on, and she was like, hey, do you want to go ice skating? And I've never put ice skates on in my fucking life. I've never done it. I have a bad sense of balance. I'm really not a competitive dude, so
Yeah.
I don't play sports and shit. And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think that's my thing. But I just wanted to push it off on her. So I'm like, yeah, maybe sometime. Finally, she approaches me and she's like, look, you never do what I want to do. And it was one of those fucking moments. And it's like, okay, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'll go put on ice skates. So maybe I'll twist an ankle or something. So we go ice skating in Boston down to Frog Pond, which is like the big ice skating rink.
Right.
I put on these skates. I got these fucking blades on my feet. And I'm trying to walk and get on the ice. And she starts dragging me around. And all these little kids are
Sounds
skating.
romantic.
Yeah, it's totally romantic.
Yeah.
And all these like little 5-year-olds are doing pirouettes and shit around me. I'm getting super annoyed. And I tell her, look, skate off. I'll figure this out. Let me just try to figure out how to do this.
Okay.
So she skates away, and this little kid standing next to me, kind of mocking me. And he shows me, he just does like a little push off. And he pushes
shithead.
away. And I'm like, you fuck.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
And so then I do the same thing. I push off, and I slip, fall back completely. I do like a 180.
Oh, yeah.
Land on my skull, and the
Oh.
last thing I hear is an old oak barrel cracking.
No!
And I'm out.
Oh.
Dude, I am out. And Gina tells me afterwards that everybody on the rink hears it, and the people that work at the rink just skate out little orange cones and set up orange cones around my
God.
body so that people can continue to skate. And Gina's like, you got to take him to the hospital. We got to call an ambulance. And we get to the hospital. I wake up to a doctor shining a flashlight in my fucking eyes, and he looks down at me and he's like, you're in an emergency room. Now, I'm a freelance dude. That's what I do. I work all the time. So when I got back from New York from film school, full fucking throttle for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Never took a break. So I'm sitting in the hospital going, fuck, I broke a leg. I passed out. I'm not going to be able to work this job that I got coming up.
Right.
And this guy looks down at me and he goes, here's the deal. You've cracked your skull. You're bleeding internally. You've got a hematoma forming on the top of your brain. You can't go back to sleep because if you do, you might not wake up. You should call your family. And so that started my 5 days in intensive care where I had this hematoma, blood formed on the top of my skull, and it was pushing my brain down. I'll have to show you the CAT scans of it.
Oh, my
My brain was
God.
being like pancaked. And the side effects of that were that I started to fucking hallucinate hard because I couldn't go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So I was convinced like shadows were moving on walls, and I was convinced that my inner voice didn't belong to me anymore, that my inner voice was being controlled and manipulated by somebody else. And so while this is happening, Gina, poor Gina, she meets my whole fucking family for the first time as they all have to come to the hospital and she has to deal with that shit.
Oh my God.
And she's, I have her audio recording my stories. So I'd be sitting there
While you're hallucinating.
Hallucinating. And I tell her, like, what the fuck's going on? And the shadows are moving and all this sort of shit. So the bleeding stops in my brain. I get out of intensive care and I talk to the doctor and he's like, you've got multiple concussions. You can't go back to work. It's going to be a good 5 months. And so I'm out of work for 5 months dealing with vertigo and concussion and all that stuff. But I'm so inspired by what I was going through, I had to write a script, was what I was thinking. So while I'm dealing with vertigo, while I'm dealing with all this shit, I start to outline a feature, and I had this idea about a sort of virus or sort of an infection that takes over your inner voice and can manipulate you. There's nothing more terrifying than being told to do something and you think you're the one telling yourself to do it. And I needed an origin story for this creature, and that's when I remembered this Russian thing. And that's when I was like, oh, this fucking hole and this whole thing. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And prior to the accident, I had done a short film. I did a fan film. I did a Punisher fan film where I got my whole crew together, and we shot like this amazing sort of proof of concept way before Punisher was on Netflix, way before the Marvel deals.
Was it before?
And we shot the shit.
Was it in between the first Marvel movie, or the first one they had done, and the reboot?
Yeah, it was like right around when Dirty Laundry came out online with where they took what's his name who was in the first Punisher. They did like a short with him. Yeah, it's like right in that period. It's right in that time period.
Oh, okay.
So I did this short, and I made the mistake of releasing a trailer online first. So I put a trailer up online, and the trailer went fucking viral, and CBR and all these places were posting about it.
I think I saw it, yeah.
And they were saying that it's better than anything Marvel's ever done. Then I got the fucking cease and desist letter from fucking Marvel.
Oh my God.
And that showed up in the mail, and I was like, what the fuck? So I had got this whole crew and actors to do this amazing short film that no one can see. So after that, when I was doing the feature, I came out, got full recovery from my head injury. I was super fucking lucky. I have no residual effects, none of that shit. And the first thing I did when I came out of the thing was, I'm going to make a fucking feature. I'm going to make a movie. I've done everything else. I've been doing music videos. I've been doing all this other shit. I got to make a feature. I got to do a proof of concept. And I knew after I had already called this crew to come do something that couldn't be seen, I knew I had to make something that I could screen in a theater.
Yeah.
I knew I had to make something that was an experience. So I took what was essentially, in the first draft of the 12 Kilometers feature, just the cold open, which was like Russia, 1980s, bomb.
Right.
I took that and I sort of expanded that into the 30-minute short that it became.
Okay, that's awesome.
And then I also decided to shoot it in a language that I don't speak.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about. So the whole film, Chris, is in Russian. Everyone speaks Russian, and there's a lot of like nuanced dialogue. Like one guy is saying that he's so horny. And he's like, he's gonna fuck his friend as a joke, but that's like a nuanced thing. How did you don't speak Russian?
No.
So
yeah,
how
did
you
have a
Russia
translator? Or Russian family?
He's Italian.
Pecci. I'm Italian.
He's Italian, Chris. Pecci.
I'm an Italian boy from fucking Boston, dude.
Okay, I forgot.
Chris, we're on a podcast.
Yeah.
What's going on right now?
It's because
I've been in my bathroom the entire time. What if you get the footage back from me once and I'm not even in my car?
I think it'd be amazing.
Just sit on the toilet the entire time, like
you just delivering a package in the bathroom somewhere.
I
think
wouldn't
it'd be
know.
amazing. Yeah.
He wouldn't know until he got the footage.
You're playing sound effects of traffic.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're you film it in Russian.
Yeah, the Russian. Yeah. So how did that?
So, because I was financing it, essentially,
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm the fucking boss, so I'll do whatever I want. And I've always hated it in movies where, obviously, they're trying to do a story that happens in another country, and it's like British actors, like, with Russian accents, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hated it. And here's the other thing. I knew that my resources were pretty limited as far as getting talent, because whenever actors are good, they move out here or they move to New York.
Right.
And so I'm like, maybe if I put it in another language, even if their acting sucks, the American audience would be like, oh, I guess this is what they're like in Russia, and they'd believe it more.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so I wrote a script in English.
That's a funny statement. That's really packed. That's a loaded statement.
It's a loaded statement right there. Yeah. Not necessarily wrong.
It's very true, dude. You got to know your audience. So I wrote a script in English, which I have a lot of sarcasm, pretty cynical in real life.
Yeah.
That doesn't translate well to Russian, by the way, because they have no idea what sarcasm is.
Right.
So I had to have it translated by a friend of mine into Russian, and then the lead, Ara, who plays the lead in 12KM, he also helped me with casting.
Okay.
And I essentially said to him, let's go to New York. let's run a casting session, run the entire session in Russian.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just
Get
be
authentic.
Exactly. I'll be that American director that doesn't speak the language, and I'll
Right.
sit in there and watch the stuff. And it was
Oh,
it was
cool.
fascinating. It was fascinating because like a great example, we had this guy come in, Russian dude comes in, sits across from us, and they brought their own material. And that's what they were going to do. They were going to read material or perform material that they had prepared. And so I'm sitting there, we roll the camera, my Russian buddy's running the whole session, and this guy comes in, he starts to perform. And he's big, and he comes in and he's blah, blah. I don't know Russian. You would think I should know it by now, but I don't.
Yeah.
And he comes in, he's like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like delivering
pretty
this shit.
Russian.
Yeah, it's very Russian. It's very authentic. And I'm at the edge of my fucking seat. Like,
Yeah.
I'm leaning forward on the chair, and I'm like, this guy's fucking amazing.
Interesting.
We finish the session. He walks out of the room, and the guy running the session goes, he was a piece of shit. And I go, why was he a piece of
Right.
shit? He goes, he was reciting an old fairy tale, like an old Russian fairy tale, and he kept fucking up the lines. He didn't know any of the lines.
That's so funny.
And I knew that our idea was going to work at that point.
Yeah, because you were the audience in that way. Yeah.
I had no fucking. I
You're
had
like,
no
hire
idea.
him.
Hire him. He's on.
It's still like always like 70-80% how you say it, 20% what you're saying. You know, if like
Yeah.
you really say something with fiction, it doesn't really matter if it makes sense or not, because people will be like, yeah, I get behind that.
Well, dude, I mean, you guys, you know, Rick, when
Yeah.
you're casting people as a director, you know immediately, you don't even you don't have to open your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Like, you walk in the room and I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to look at this guy for about 1,000 hours.
Right.
I want to spend time with this person.
Yeah.
I want to cast this person.
It's true.
And even if you suck, if I really like you, I'm going to help you in the edit.
Yeah.
I'm going to help build your performance through the edit. I'm going to help build your performance because
Yeah.
I physically want to watch you on screen.
Yeah, and you want to make them shine.
Exactly.
I know, it's so
Yeah.
crazy because actors have, like, to speak on that behalf, like, they have the polar opposite where it's like this fear of wanting to make things perfect. And you can't control someone else's creativity. You know, it's like, I can't dictate what you're looking for. You know? It's like, if you see it and you know it, then that's like, it's such an uphill battle to try and change that opinion, you know?
Well, that being said, I have been surprised. So there's times where you think you have the person that you want for the piece, and then like a casting agent or someone will come in and go, you have to see this person. You have to.
Right.
Like the girl in the babysitter in Who's There.
Oh, yeah. She was great.
She was amazing, dude. And I had cast someone, 2 or 3 people before her, and she was running late, and I had shit to do, and the casting agent was like, can you please just stay? Can
Yeah.
you please just stay?
Smart.
And she came in, and not only was she amazing, but she made all the other actors' lives twice as difficult because she was so good. So, like, it changed everything for them.
Now, when you're casting and you see someone and they just work, how do you gauge that internally? Like, this is the person. Is it a feeling that you have, or?
Yeah, I mean,
know?
I've done more commercial stuff because for years I was just making money doing commercials and shit. And when you do commercial casting, it sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've done it. It fucking sucks. Where you're sitting in that room and you're looking at like 100 fucking people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have a table behind you of creative directors.
Right.
Who are just there, and they're incredibly catty and incredibly shallow people.
Yeah.
Who are just like, I don't like her hair. I don't want that one.
Right.
I don't like her personality. And it's like, she's a good fucking actress though.
Yeah.
I don't like the way she looks. And so when you're casting, someone will come in the room and they'll say something to you. You're like, I see the character.
Mm-hmm.
I see who this person is. This is who I want. And then I'll let them read 2 or 3 times. Because it's got to suck, man.
Yeah.
Like, to be someone that's coming in and reading to a bunch of strangers cold without any sort of
Yeah,
guidance.
it's never fun.
It sucks. So I generally let actors come in and show me what they've prepared. So they deliver it for me, and if I think it's a little bit different, or if it should be done differently, then I'll ask them to change it subtly. For 2 reasons. 1, I want to hear how they do it that way, but 2, I want to see how they take direction.
Yeah.
And then I think the
Yeah.
next step for me is I like to see what is in what I call the toolbox, what is in the actor's toolbox. So, like, if you don't know, here's a side story. As a director, I don't know shit. And there's this big fucking rumor out there that directors are geniuses.
Yeah.
Like, you come flopping out of your fucking mother, and suddenly you're like, as soon as I can make these hands work, I'll make
Right.
2001.
Yeah.
That doesn't fucking happen. we don't know.
Yeah.
We're curators.
Nobody knows. Though.
No one like, and
Yeah.
the role of a director is to be a guy or girl that sits there and people walk over to you with trays of food and you go, I'd like some of that, I'd like some of this, I'd like some of that, and then make a plate with it.
And I want a nice little parfait. Where's my parfait?
Where's my fucking parfait? Yeah. So that being said, when I'm looking for actors, I want to see how the actor, what they have in their kit to fix a scene that I don't know how to do.
Right.
Right.
Because that's
right.
what happens all the time. Like, I'll have something in a script and be like, I have no idea what it's like to be a woman. I have no idea what it's like to be this person in real life. I can't tell you how to do it.
Yeah. Let's make it real together.
Let's figure this out. Show me what you think works.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to get rid of those actors that have those television show bag of tricks where it's like, can you bring me a pair of glasses? And they do the fucking glasses thing, or
that's my go-to move.
Yeah,
what did
I
they
would
do?
assume so, Rick.
They put the glasses on and then they take them off.
Yeah, they need a fucking prop, and then they
Give me a
they
prop,
do
give me an
that.
action.
Oh yeah, that's not that. Well, that's usually like hiding like a insecurity or like they're hanging all of their. Yeah, I've definitely done that before. I was
gonna say, judging by the tone of your voice, he's like, fuck, I'm doing it wrong.
He's doing it right now on the podcast.
No, but like I've done all the bad tricks in the book. You know, it's just because like acting is like this weird thing where you're like, you're trying to convey story, but you're also trying to do it where you're not stressed. Like more and more, it becomes less. It becomes more and more about just controlling your nerves, and like and being focused on like what works, you know, and not taking things too seriously. Because like when you're talking about commercials, there, it's like I've gone up for so many commercial auditions, and you could just tell like it's so nitpicky, like what they're looking for. It might as well be a print ad. You know, they don't care if you're a good actor. They care if you look like someone who's going to buy a couch for living spaces.
Oh my God, it's like you fucking just jumped in my brain. I literally compare casting for commercials to couch shopping.
Yeah.
100%.
Casting couch.
Casting couch, man.
The cast, yeah. They're just, that's how it, because, you know, I used to get worked up about stuff like that, and then you'd see the spot, and it's like, oh, they cast like a woman in this role, or they cast, you know, like a Korean guy in this role. It has nothing to do with you. They're going all ways.
Yeah, it's just a specific look, and you're probably competing against other people that kind of look like you.
Sure.
In a way too.
Well,
you know?
I was telling Rick just got signed with my commercial agent, and I was telling him, I was like, get ready to go into into like Meet Your Bizarro versions of you, because like you go into the room, you go into like the waiting room before you go into auditions specifically for commercials, and it's so fun to see your doppelgangers. It's like yes, and then I get
gang of you.
I get a little judgmental where I'm kind of just like, okay, yeah, like I'm kind of like that person, but I'm different in this. It's so stupid, it's terrible, it's the worst, but it's funny that it happens.
I think it's great that you're being rep for commercials. You're gonna be perfect for toilet paper.
You're gonna be great.
I'm gonna do so many toilet. You see who bought? You wanna know what bought this house? Yeah, toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
Okay, the stuff you put on your asshole bought this house.
I told him he's gonna get all that Taco Bell money.
Oh yeah, dude. I'll be in every taco. I'll be the Taco Pizza Hut boy. Taco Bell Pizza Hut combo.
Yeah,
it'll be me.
No,
I'm ready.
I mean,
cool.
casting sessions are horrible. For
they're
both
not
sides.
fun.
For both sides.
They're just so awkward and
both
strange.
sides of the table. And if you're going to come in, what I like to try to do, I talk about this on my show, because I have a lot of actors that come and they're on the show or write to me, rather. They're asking for advice. And I tell them, like, look, if you get the opportunity to go into a casting session, like, just treat the day as an opportunity to practice in a casting session.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what it is. Like, you're probably not going to get the fucking part. There's so many things beyond your control.
Yeah.
Why go in there thinking that you're going to get the fucking role? And then as a director that's in that room, I let people do it because they're sitting out there for fucking like hours.
And they got ready, they drove.
Yeah, it's like, come here and do it 2 or 3 times, man. It's fine. Let's do this together.
Yeah.
Would you like to get some direction?
Although you probably know within 10 seconds if they're right.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, for sure.
And then you feel guilty because you're like, this guy's awful, but you know what? Take it away, Jack.
And action.
But it's all good. See, actors have to like just go with the process. Like it's just like like I'm green still. I'm getting better of like I've realized like the time in front of a camera on a huge set, I only have so many hours. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I learn more in that 5 to 15 minute period than I do in all the acting classes, because it's like, but they don't give those positions out all the time, so you can't accrue that much. So I think the actor, at least myself, you could be easier on yourself when you go like, oh, I've only done this like so many times. I've done the audition thing more. I've done the learning the lines thing more. But this specific moment where everyone's there, it's like there's only so many actors who have the ability to be in front of that camera so many times. So I think what I'm saying in all of it too is just like with all of this stuff, we're always still learning as we're going through these very unique, specific experiences.
Dude, totally. I mean, I was on set for 7 days doing 12 cam 5 fucking years ago.
Wow.
You
made that 5 years ago?
5 fucking years ago. And
7 days, that's impressive.
So it was 7 days for that shoot, 5 fucking years ago. That got me, I didn't get into film festivals with it. So
were you submitting?
I submitted, and every film festival said no.
Yeah.
And I had a film festival programmer come into the edit room and watch the movie with me, and he goes, I fucking love the movie.
Yeah.
It's really great. And I go, cool. Do you think I can get into festivals? He goes, absolutely not. It's too fucking long. It'll never be programmed. It'll never be programmed in any of these festivals. So I was lucky to have someone write an article about it. And the reason why I didn't release it, and it became very successful for me, is I sent it to a bunch of different reviewers online, and they would watch this movie and say, well, I was lucky enough to see it. No one else can see this fucking thing. And I had one person write a really great article on it saying that this should be made by Hollywood.
Yeah.
And after that article went up, I got calls from studios, I got calls from agents, I got calls from management.
Amazing.
I didn't have any of that.
Yeah. Well, that must be satisfying, because I'm sure there was a level of rejection you were facing with these fucking curators and their fucking agendas.
Oh
anyway,
my God. Yeah, exactly. Like these guys that do posts all the time about film festivals.
Damn it. I just saw a post this morning talking about this shit, saying fucking everything needs to have a point or it's aimless. No, it doesn't.
Oh, that guy. Oh, I saw your fucking post. I saw your fucking post. How about this? How about I fucking murder you?
Oh, no.
How about that's the point of the fucking, content, is me just cutting your fucking throat out.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that made me so
use
mad.
This in court.
That made me so fucking mad.
Yeah.
That post made me
They're
so
gonna
fucking
play
mad.
this tape in court when you have your. I'm gonna have to go to the. Great, thank you. I'm gonna have to go to some fucking city court and say yes, I heard him do
city
this.
Court.
He committed that.
You have no idea what we're doing
Damn,
here.
Chris,
we're
you just
hugging each
snitched.
other right now. You have no idea what's going on here.
Yeah, we're hugging it out.
Yeah, you don't know.
So that film, so you got all these calls from agents and,
I'm a snitch.
and from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you know my nickname? Chris the Rat Candy?
Snitch.
Chris Loose Lips Candy.
Yeah, you can't tell me anything because they'll come out these loose lips.
You're dealing with the Pecci right now, dude. You better be careful.
That's
You get
right.
head stomped in.
Dude, we
Gotta
have
get the papers, get the
strong
papers.
Pecci
Yeah.
energy. Very strong Pecci energy today. What were you gonna say, Rick?
Oh, so no, go ahead, Mike. About
Oh, the agents and shit.
what did that lead to? What did that?
It was wild, man. I got calls from a few different studios, and then my cinematographer that I hired, who's now my wife as far as like creative stuff goes.
Right.
He got a call to potentially put in his reel for a new. I think I could say this. I'll say it. For a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Okay. Nice.
And so I was still editing the piece at this point.
Right.
And he's like, can I get some footage? Because we're going to do this. And I said, sure. And so I sent a rough cut, and then he got back to me and he goes, the guy who's writing it and kind of producing it wants to talk to you because they're potentially looking for a director to do this. And I'm just a dude in Boston fucking, you know, doing my shit. And I'm like, oh, fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme? Fuck yeah. Splits and shit?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So I sent him the short, and he watched the short, and it's a dude named Will Simmons, and he watched it, loved it, and we got on a Skype call, and he goes, look, I'm a writer, I've done stuff, I'm a Blacklist winner, I'm repped, I do all this sort of shit, I would love to potentially take a stab at writing.
Oh, shit.
I dropped the microphone like I
What
got
the
a gun.
hell is going on over there?
That was almost the first bumper-to-bumper accident.
Wow, by a cop. You almost got hit by a fucking cop.
I didn't know what to do.
Was that an ambulance coming your way?
That just took me out of
No,
my
that was a
body.
police
it was
car.
a fucking
That was a
cop
police car. And
coming through the intersection.
For a minute, I thought I had my beer bottle in my hand. So like I was like, whoa!
Yeah, Mike dropped the mic.
Oh my God!
Mic drop.
Holy shit! You just made me shit myself.
Sure, yeah, I shit myself too. Hey, it stinks like shit in this car now.
Yeah, it smells
Chris.
like poop in here. Poop.
Now I'm
It's a
happy
good
that
word.
I'm in my car.
Poop is a great word.
Poop is a good word.
Poop.
So anyway, back in the story to wrap this up for
Rick,
you.
you're melting right now.
So Will was like, "Can I take a draft? Can I take a stab at a draft?"
Yeah.
And one thing that I know is I'm not a writer.
Right.
I write out of necessity.
Yeah.
And so I read his scripts and I'm like, fuck, this guy's great. And so I was like, totally, dude, let's work together. So he wrote a whole new version of 12KM.
Oh, amazing.
And then was like, hey, I've got connections at Michael Bay's company.
Yeah.
Can we go do a pitch at Michael Bay's company? And I'm like, sure, all right. So I'm planning to come out to California, and then I get a call from a guy who calls me on the phone and he goes, I noticed on your website that you don't have a manager. And I'm like, well, I'm repped from commercials and stuff like that. And he's like, well, I'd like to meet with you and potentially manage you. Now, I'm an East Coast Boston guy, so all I could picture is some sweaty guy in a fucking closet somewhere in a
Yeah.
polyester suit going,
Harvey.
I'd love to manage you. You know what I mean?
Come
Yeah,
to my
yeah,
hotel
yeah.
at 4 a.m. Let me see your dick.
Come hang out, you know? I'd like to masturbate in front of you. Like that kind of guy. And so I'm like, this guy.
There's another cop.
What's going on?
Go ahead.
They know we're drinking.
Yeah.
So I was like, sure, I'm coming out to LA. I'll stop by and hang out in your office and we'll see what's going on. So I go out with the express intent of going to pitch to Michael Bay's people, which I had never done before, and meet up with this manager.
Should we follow him?
Yeah, let's follow him. Let's fucking follow this cop.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he won't even know we're back here.
Yeah.
Get closer. So then I show up to his office, and it's on Sunset, and it's this big fucking building, and it's in the same building as like Leonardo DiCaprio's fucking company.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm like
Whoa,
not
all right.
prepared for this.
Yeah.
I am not prepared.
Yeah.
And I walk in, and it's like fucking Entourage shit, where you
Yeah.
walk into the office, it's all glass rooms and shit.
Yeah.
And all the assistants know my name.
Yeah. Oh.
It's like that
Yeah,
prep it.
wow.
They got, yeah.
And so you walk in there and they're like, Mike, we love your shit. I'm like, yeah, sure you do. What's the name of my fucking movie?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
you walk into space, and I sit down with this dude, and he's really great. This dude, Justin, I'm rep by Gotham Group. So this dude, Justin, and he's like, give us the pitch. And Will's there, and Will has his agent from UTA on the phone, and they're like, give us the pitch for the feature. So we pitch him. We do like this hour-long pitch. And they're like, we love the fucking movie. We'll set you up with meetings. Can you stay out here for another 10 days?
Yeah.
And we'll send you on 10 meetings. And
That's
that was the
fucking
beginning of
incredible.
it, man. I got to go and pitch to like fucking Sam Raimi's people. I got to go and pitch to all these different companies.
Yeah.
I was like Cloud9 shit,
Yeah.
and went back to Boston and was like, holy shit, you know? And then weeks go by.
Uh-huh. That's normal.
Yeah.
Weeks go by.
Yeah.
And I've already done like sort of that handshake, and now I'm repped by these guys.
Right.
And no one's calling back.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, this is totally normal. This is great. This is fine. I'm like, okay. And, what I didn't tell you is that the last day of our meetings, they call me up last minute and they go, you got one more day here. You're going to go meet with Ridley Scott's people. And
Oh,
I was
wow.
just
It's
like,
crazy.
I don't care if they want this fucking movie or not.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in there and sell this pitch because I want to fucking work for Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
You know, and so I went in and had a fucking amazing pitch with them. And where we connected, and one thing I've learned about pitches is that people really don't give a fuck about your movie. They give a fuck about you as a person. Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah.
went in and I told my head injury story, and the producer I talked to got into an accident very similar, and we fucking bonded
Oh,
immediately.
fuck. Yeah.
Right,
That's
right.
a really important thing that you just brought up for aspiring creatives out there. They don't give a shit about. It's all about in the delivery.
and you,
yeah,
and your
you,
and
and
shit.
your story and why you're doing it. Because I feel like they can spot, someone who's not authentic.
Well,
True.
and it's also like who do you want to spend 1,000 hours with?
It's true. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
absolutely
that is
right.
true.
And yeah, at the end of the day, you're in the trenches in this business.
Yeah.
And you gotta make sure that
You want to hang
know,
out with that fucking brooding, dark fucking nerd who doesn't know how to talk to fucking people?
Yeah.
And, I'm a fucking genius.
Yeah.
I've met those guys
Right.
at festivals. I'm like, I bet you're alone too.
So what happened at the end of that meeting? So you were back in Boston, and now you're just kind of waiting around. What
We're waiting around to hear, and then I don't know if I'm allowed to say
Yeah, don't say.
the specifics, but I will say this:
You got a
waiting
call.
around to hear, we get a call back, and I get a call from one of the companies that I had gone to pitch to, and they were like, "We love it. Can you?" What was the questions to me was like, "We have two questions. Can you shoot the whole movie on a soundstage?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And then it was, "Can you convince actors to be in your movie?" And I was like, "Yeah, give me a 6-pack of beer with anybody, and I'll convince them to do whatever we need."
Yeah.
And this guy's gonna
Oh God.
clip you.
Okay.
And then they were like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so, I was able to go into development with one of these companies because the movie had a good article written on it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's
Fuck
awesome.
Yeah.
So where are you at right now with it? What are you?
So here's the deal. So it's so fucking funny. We went through the process of rewriting the script for them. So we sit down with the company and they have their ideas, and then we recraft the script. And I asked them specifically, because I'm an indie filmmaker, I'm like, what budget should we be trying to reach?
Yeah.
Right.
And they're like, don't think about that now, just write it so that it's good. And I'm like, okay. And so we write this thing.
Yeah.
They budget this thing out, and I think it's clocking in at like $7 million right now. Which
$7?
is 7.
Oh, that's nothing.
Right, you would think.
Yeah.
But because technically I am a first-time director that hasn't done anything in my fucking
Right.
life, it gets more difficult.
Really?
So like once
They
you're
don't
over
wanna give you that
5
much
million,
money, yeah.
Yeah, once you're over 5 million as a first, it's a lot more difficult. And so these guys are like, we want to do it. We have it ready to rock. We're good to go. It would be great if you did a movie first, like another movie first.
Uh-huh.
And luckily, I don't like sitting around waiting. So
Yeah.
luckily, Will and I had come up with the idea for Who's There through our series of pitches, and I would ask the different production companies that I wanted to work with, what are you looking for and how these things work? And so we wrote and did a whole other concept film, which was Who's There. And that one got picked up by, I don't know if I can, let's just say
Yeah,
that it's a...
don't-
it's a- it's a-
don't worry about it. Yeah, it got picked
yeah,
up.
it's an amazing horror just company right now. So
Nice.
that one got picked up by those guys.
As a feature.
As a feature.
But it's a short. It's a 10-minute short that you guys made.
Yep. Proof of concept.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Proof of concept.
And pitch us that one. That's.
So the idea behind that one, well, it's changed a lot for the feature, but the short was that a kid goes missing after listening to this creepy music box.
Yes.
And the parents are trying to figure out where he went, so they show up back to their apartment, and the babysitter's fucking freaking the fuck out. The kid's gone, and there are these knocks that happen on the door after they listen to the music box.
Interesting.
Yeah, It's awesome. Mike's very good with. I notice one consistent thing with both of your shorts is you love to. You tend to go wide, and then you'll go into these tight little macro, tight shots of little things. They're all over 12 km.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he'll go into these like beautiful macro shots of liquids forming and.
Oh yeah, dude. All the
Yeah.
stuff in 12 cam, by the way, all of that's practical.
Wow.
No CGI.
Really?
I
No stock.
I went and hung out with a biochemist in his basement in Pennsylvania.
That's
I drove
cool.
to Pennsylvania, and we shot all of the effects for that movie.
That's amazing.
Through microscopes.
Wow. Really?
Uh-huh.
What camera did you shoot that with?
The movie itself was the Mini, so
Okay.
it's the Arri Mini.
You shot
and
with
then,
anamorphics?
oh yeah, Kruda has my DP. Kruda has these old school Lomo anamorphics
Oh,
that.
Kruda shot that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So he shot that, and he shot Who's There. He's got these old, I think they're Stanley Kubrick's anamorphics.
Wow.
So he's got this package of those.
Lomos. Yeah, Lomos are
The old
beautiful.
Lomos, yeah. They're
Yeah.
Mike,
fucking
how you-
amazing.
How are you liking the switch from like East Coast to West Coast living?
It's weird. So
Yeah.
being an East Coaster, I was so anti-LA for so long because you're like, those people don't do anything out there. They're all fucking weird. They're
Yeah, we
fucking
don't.
yogas and
Yeah.
they're all that kind of
I love
shit.
yoga.
And it's true. Yeah, of course you do. It's true. It's true. It's true. You guys are crazy. But And fuck the weather, because I like the cold weather just as much. I have a fucking God-given sweater that runs my whole body, so I'm fine in the cold.
He's talking about body hair, Chris.
Yeah, body
Right.
hair.
Don't worry about
You gotta.
Yeah, don't even worry
You got a
about
call
that.
from Glendale. Is that the
Yeah.
Glendale Police Department?
Yeah, I don't know why Glendale's calling me. Anyway.
So when I came out here, I think the thing that really sort of blew my mind was how amazing the fucking food is out here. I had no idea how good the fucking food out in Los Angeles was. You know,
We're so diverse. We have so many different cultures. Just,
dude, the Thai food.
Yeah.
I've had the best Thai food in my life out here.
Where's your favorite place to go?
For Thai?
Yeah.
It's this place called I think it's called barbecue beef or something, and it was down in Thai Town. It's this tiny little spot with like 2 old ladies that run it. And holy shit, it was amazing. And then Koreatown's amazing. Dude, we should go on a bar safari.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah.
We should go on a
I'd
bar
love to do
safari.
that.
You guys
Yeah,
gotta
let's
meet.
do it. Yeah, we
You know,
gotta do
we'll
it.
go out and we should do
When
a
I'm
bar
back,
safari
I-
podcast.
I
That'd be
leave.
fun.
I leave Sunday. Let's
Drunk.
do it. Let's do it when I'm
he's
back.
coming back in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Dude, let's do it.
He's going to Canada town.
Oh, you're
Going?
going home,
He's
huh?
going to shoot.
Going to Canada, eh?
You got a
Going
job.
to work on a job, eh?
What are you what kind of job are you doing?
It is a TV show that isn't out yet. I just don't want to give any details about it because it's like a new show. But
Yeah.
there's I think it's just 6 episodes. I have no clue. Canada's got its own world of content that's going on up there, so I don't know. Since some of it doesn't come down here, I don't know how private they are about what they're releasing or whatnot.
Sure.
So-
Yeah, we gotta. It's better not to say too much.
Well, dude,
yeah, but I'm
congrats,
heading up
man.
to do a
That's
job up
great.
there that it'll come out in the summer, and I'm just stoked to head up. But speaking of cold, it's like freezing up there, so I've got to. It's going to be a bit of a change to the old system, but yeah, I'm heading up there.
you're
But
gonna
I'd
die.
love to do a bar safari with you. I've never been on a bar safari.
Yeah.
This podcast went way too quick.
It
Way too
did.
fast.
I'm telling you guys.
This
I
is.
know.
What the fuck? How is it over an hour? This was
Yeah.
the most entertaining podcast.
I am proud to
God
be
damn
on
it.
the most entertaining episode
We're
of your
bringing
show.
you back, Mike. We gotta
Yeah,
get
yeah, we'll bring you back,
deeper.
Mike, into stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get
and then
deeper
we
into
can
this.
stop talking about what I fucking do, and we can just talk about these assholes that we're.
Yeah, that we drive by.
That we
no,
drive
no,
by.
I think it's been fascinating. This has been a good
Yeah.
one. I just feel like it wasn't. Was this really an hour? It's
It was,
crazy,
man.
right?
What
Chris?
time is
Yeah.
it?
We're like an hour. We're almost an hour 20 right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We try to keep them around this length.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well-
Time travel, man.
Chris is gonna sign it off. That's
Yeah,
what he
Mike,
does.
I'm really looking forward to hanging out with you, man. This was super fun. And I will definitely look at your short films faster than Rick did. So
You son of a bitch.
Well, as long as you see it within 2 months, then I think you're gonna beat him.
yeah, I've got. What's the window? 6 months? Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah, whatever, Chris. All right, you go sign it out.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you make fun of me. I can dig right back in, you piece of shit.
All right, Chris.
Mike. Yeah. All right, Rick. I'll talk to you later. Mike, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you both for having me here, so I can talk about how cool my life is.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man.
Bye, Chris.
All right. Talk to you guys later. All right, that was it. I don't know. Hold on, I gotta get these guys off the phone here. Let's see. It's so funny. It always. Yeah, they're gone. All right, it's just you and me, podcast people. The listeners, the ones I love. We all know you guys like me more than Rick, anyways. Isn't that the truth? I'm the one that's so much more interesting. No, I'm just joking. I love Rick. Love Bumper to Bumper. That was a good one, Mike. Mike Pecci. I'm gonna go check out those films. I guarantee you, Bumper to Bumper listeners, I will see these films before. I have a list of a few films I need to watch. I'm gonna put his in the queue. But I want to thank you all for listening to another episode of Bumper to Bumper. We will be back every Monday. Don't worry, I'm going to be gone, but we have podcasts in the queue ready to come up. You can get this podcast at all the podcast spots. Thank you so much for listening. And we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. Have a great week. Bye.